Well, before I do that, though, let me say thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
been a joy. And thank you guys too. I second Eric with like you all's transparency and vulnerability. It's not easy doing that as someone from the culture, but even just as a Black male, right? And so that's something that's so powerful to be able to see you all exude such strength and passion and vulnerability. Like that says a lot, and that's changing the world. So please keep doing what you're doing and how you're doing it, because it is definitely needed. So thank you for that.
Hops and Stocks podcast is presented by 100 Media Group. We encourage our listeners to drink responsibly. Please note, we are not financial advisors. We do not offer or provide financial advice.
I'm Spoke affiliated from the city of Jim.
Welcome back to the Hops and Stocks podcast, brought to you by 100 Media Group. This is episode 41. Today we'll have joining us here shortly special guest Karisma Hazel. Karisma is a program manager and mental health therapist. So we're looking forward to an interesting conversation. But like we always do about this time, man, let's hop off into these beers. We got my man beat up. What you got in your can, brother? Oh, you ain't even got a can.
Well, basically what I have tonight. No, I'm just
kidding. You're canless.
I'm not even canned up this episode, as you can see. If you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. Trippy.
This is compliments of our good folks at New Belgium. This is New Belgium from the Belgian collection, Triple. 8.5 on the ABV. Breweries out of Colorado. They was nice enough to send us a care package, 2 12s of assorted offerings. Eric has one tonight. He'll be reviewing, but like I said, this is an 8.5 on the ABV. It's 43 on the IBU. It won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Fest.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty. It looks like it's a decent beer. I've had this before. Smooth on the opening. So it looked like.
Yeah.
Classic color.
I think that was referred to as a.
Oh man, don't even do it.
That R. Kelly type color.
Oh man.
Looks like canine whiz.
So this is nice right here. It's light, it's crisp. Off the open, it's you can taste that citrus, you can smell that citrus. At the back end of it, you can tell it's got some booziness to it. It's probably why it has that 8.5 on it. So yeah. Oh, it has the hops on it. I'm not too familiar with hops, but it says it has S.A.V.E.R.S, Hallertau, and Millerfraw. I don't know what that is. But
Man, there's some exotic hops.
yeah, this is some international hops, but yeah, this is not too far off of your your domestics. It's right on par with Bud, Corona. A little bit more potent than that at 8.5. I get it's a solid 4 right here.
What was the style of beer on that one?
It's a Belgian style.
Okay.
So
shout out to Cat D for getting that into our hands.
And shout out to Ryan for making the introduction.
Yeah, what up, Ryan?
You see the bottle art right there. It's a decent offering right here. You can get these at Kroger. So if you get a Kroger nearby, you can go ahead and pick this up. I would recommend this. I get it a solid 4.
Is that a man and 2 women on the label?
No, man, it's 3 women.
Oh, I thought there was a man in the middle. Okay.
I guess that explains the triple.
Yeah, I'll say symbolic or something.
Type of menage there.
And beat up takes the oop.
Once again, this is Triple, New Belgium, Belgian style, coming in at 8.5 on the ABV, a solid 4. So what you got there, Blast?
I'm taking it back to the hometown tonight. Dayton, Ohio, in the house. Branch and Bone Artisan Ales.
Oh yeah.
I have something called a Soft Temple. It's a Berliner style Weiss with blueberry, cherry, vanilla, and Toll's favorite. It's got some of that toast in it. Beautiful can.
Nice.
Yeah, I seen that joint.
And then I'm sure you guys will like the color on this joint.
Oh, man. Please tell me it's fire.
I hope so, man. The nose is giving off, a lot of the fruit. Definitely getting that cherry. I don't know if I'm getting the blueberry. 5%er. So let's see what it's tasting like, man. Yeah, not bad. This is reminiscent of what's that joint beat up that you had? I think it was a Sonder one. It's got that red color.
The crumble?
The crumble?
Crumble, yeah. A little more tart than the crumble, I would say. But it's not sour. It's just got a little bit of a tang to it. Good summer drink, man. We having the heat wave in our part of the country, so this would be a nice one to chill back with in the AC. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 even.
2 4s. It's a good start.
Who's next, Mr. Toller?
Yeah, what I have here this evening, fellas, is a Bee Nectar, Sunrise, Mead with pineapple. I was intrigued by the whole.
Man.
Huh?
No, I was gonna say I think that's gonna be fire.
Has to be fire.
Yeah, I was intrigued by the Mead talk you all had. I think it was on the last pod. So this is out of Ferndale, Michigan. It's only a 5.5 ABV, but this is what it looks like.
That's kind of low for Mead. Meads are usually like up in the teens because it's wine or wine-ish.
So nothing on the nose. I can't even breathe. So really nothing on the nose.
You on mute, man.
What's the ABV?
5.
5.5.
It said it goes from 5 to like 20 something. Maybe
it's good, man.
Right. Told you, man.
It's honey and pineapple.
Yeah. You getting those notes?
Yeah, I'm getting the honey and the pineapple. It's a nice smooth taste, like you said, on a hot day. It's not, it's not real heavy.
It's for those wine drinkers. If you just drink wine and you're trying to transition to beer, that's a good buffer right there.
Yeah, I was trying to do something a little light today, and it works for me. For what it is, I would give it. I'm gonna stay with you all 4. I give it a 4. It's pretty good.
Where are they out of, Doug?
Ferndale, Michigan.
Ferndale, Michigan. Okay.
Blue.
Yeah, I was talking to the owner of it's called Garagist or Garagrist. I can't remember if it's a 2 R's in there or not. And he was describing what meads were in the process, and it's basically honey based. And so he said that's why it's really easy for them to nail like those fruit notes and like peanut butter. He said it's like mead doesn't take well to like chocolate notes and things like that. But he's like those, those fruit notes, he was like, it's really easy to nail those fruit notes when you do mead.
I like the fact that, when it's a place that specializes in meads, they're called a meadery.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet name.
Sweet.
Told you.
Look, I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that, man. I don't want to be coughing on the pod. Yeah, when I looked it up online, it said a tap room, and it was called a meadery. That's what they were called, tap room meaderies.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm going
to go ahead and tap into this brew. I went with, New Belgium as well, this pod. Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA. It's a hazy IPA, checking in at 9.5%, which is a a great percentage for an IPA, in my opinion. This thing is fire, man. The IBUs, I looked it up real quick because it has 0 bitterness. It's 30 on the IBU scale, and you can tell off the first sip. Like, it smells citrusy, so you get those like orange and grapefruit notes. Probably more orange than grapefruit, more orange and lemon. You can see the color. It's a nice golden color. I'm gonna stay away from the last comment.
Man,
It's a nice golden color.
We ain't gonna never be able to have regular brewing.
Nah, man.
Everybody gonna have to be drinking shit like this.
I know it. It's a little cloudy, so you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Just gonna take water.
Yeah, drink more water. If it comes out and it looks like this, drink more water. But yeah, this is fire,
Yeah,
man.
you're
I like.
attractive.
See, I was gonna say something, but I was like, no, I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna try to keep it moving.
and we're gonna have
That's
to
a
go
UTI.
back to back with the piss reels.
All day.
I'm gonna get this joint a 4 1/4, man. I was gonna go 4 1/2. You know what? No, I'm gonna go 4 1/2. I like this joint a lot. I'm gonna go 4 1/2. Definitely a beer that's sessionable for the summertime, beach, pools. You know what I'm saying? Cutting grass, whatever you're doing. It has,
Sessionable and beach. You just said sessionable and beach.
hey man, sessions on the beach.
What could be
Just
better?
saying.
What could be better?
Meet up. I'm out
Hey.
here throwing all sorts of assists tonight.
Yeah, you out here.
Right.
Don.
This is a good one, man. Seriously, like it doesn't drink like an IPA, and it doesn't. Being 9.5%, you would think that it may have a little bit of booziness. Like, there's no booziness at all. Like, this is shout out to New Belgium, man. This one's fire.
Yeah, let's
Juice
keep a
Force
lookout
IPA.
for that one.
I know they've seen those skulls in their local Kroger. If you've seen that, go ahead and pick that up. You won't be
Yeah.
disappointed.
Oh, the price of the 6-pack, it's like $12. So I mean, you can't beat that.
What's the ABV?
9.5.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a whole 6.
6-pack?
Obviously,
Yeah. Wow.
6-pack. Yeah, so that might be my summer brew, man.
Oh, before I forget, let me shout out Jason Neely for sending me the shirt. I Inspire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's what's
Find him
up.
on Instagram under Jason Neely for his site to order up.
This cat be getting all of the shit, man. I don't get nothing.
Man,
Hey, speaking of that, if you want me to model your ish on our pod, hit me up.
I'm like,
Yeah,
it
this
looks like
man's
they already are.
this man's getting
are.
shirts, free brew. You know what I'm saying?
Dub does that, man. Go ahead, inbox. We can make this happen, man.
Sponsorship dub, man.
It's 4 members of the group. So if you're sending something, you need to send 4.
Yeah,
Hit us up in the
or,
DM for sizes and all those kind of specs.
Nah, you already got to DM me. Send me an Excel.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like Karisma's on. Welcome, Karisma. How are you?
How you doing?
You
Hi
see?
guys. Sorry, hold on. It's taking me a minute. Okay, there we go. Hello there.
Okay.
Hey,
going on?
welcome to the show.
Thank
Hey,
you
welcome
so
to the House of
much.
Talks podcast.
That's the beach you was talking about, E.
Yeah, sessions on the beach.
It's lovely where she's
I
at.
heard, yeah, I heard something about some sessions on the beach over there.
Oh.
So,
Hey,
okay.
Does that?
goes down. I'm just saying.
Yes, apparently.
Exactly. Welcome to our show. We introduced you earlier, but if you want to elaborate on your background, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, let me first say, please excuse me. I'm recovering from a sinus cold, so my voice is like, all raspy. I don't sound like this on a regular basis, I promise.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah, but yeah. So of course, my name's Karisma
We're in the
Hazel.
same
So I'm a.
boat. I think I have COVID.
Oh no.
Well, you took it a step further of your sinus.
Right.
He
And I'm
said we're in the
delayed.
same boat.
He's like, we're in the same boat. I have COVID.
Well, that's a different boat. But,
Yeah.
okay.
He tried to put you in his boat.
Yes.
He's like, nah, I ain't trying to hop in
We're
that
in the
boat.
same. We're in the same
That's so
storm. Same storm.
Right. We're in the same storm. Okay. We're the same storm. But yes, so again, my name is Karisma Hazel. I am a licensed professional counselor, national certified counselor, and I am the program manager for Poppy's Therapeutic Corner. So a little bit about me, been in the mental health profession for about 5 or 6 years. I started off as a mental health case manager, and then I moved clinically, got licensed, and I'm practicing. Again, I practice at Poppy's Therapeutic Corner. So we are an all-Black mental health practice where we provide psychotherapy. We do individuals, couples, groups, family therapy, and then we also do community-based case management services as well. So our case managers are out there in the community, finding different resources, helping our clients, with just kind of tools to help them with their day-to-day basic life activities. So yeah.
What's up?
I was impressed with the website. Like you said, it's cool to see, a website with people that look like us.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're looking for help in that kind of area, it's helpful to see people that look like you, and it's just a welcoming vibe that the website gives off, and it was something cool to see. I mean, we're doing our research on you, and I looked up the site, and I was just like, man, this is impressive. It gave everybody's picture, the credentials. It was just like, all right, it felt real homey. If you are looking for something, I definitely would look at that website, and I mean, there was so many options too.
Yeah.
You'll find somebody you're comfortable with, I'd imagine.
Somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We have a wonderful staff, a great team. We do obviously telehealth services, but we do have offices in the Kettering area as well as in the Roseline area. So, yeah.
So, Karisma, when you're talking about like anxiety and depression, talk to us a little bit about the uptick that you may have noticed, or the increase of people needing therapy post-pandemic, or even pre-pandemic, or during the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. So the common I should say the two common diagnoses that we see is generalized anxiety disorder and major depression. And we really saw an increase with that during the pandemic, right? Because the pandemic forced a lot of us to sit down with ourselves and evaluate ourselves and evaluate our lives and make some decisions and adjust. And that caused a lot. A lot of people, are used to kind of fast paced and going, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I need to deal with me, or deal with my family, deal with my partner. How do I do all of that? And so we saw some depression, and then we saw some anxiety. And I do want to highlight here that anxiety is also physical, right? You can have some tight chest, there we go, racing heartbeats and sweaty palms and things like that, right? Backaches and headaches. And so we saw a lot of those physical symptoms as well. Coming out of the pandemic, a lot of anxiety. Do I wear my mask? Do I not? Everything's back to normal. Do I send my kids out to school? Do I still try to, have them here at school? It was a lot. And so we are still seeing people transition and get acclimated to the adjustment now that we're kind of opening back up and things are back to normal.
Yeah, thank you.
So what led? Oh, go ahead, B-Dub.
I was going to say, man, I think these resources are very important. Speaking for Black males, a lot of times we're not taught, but a lot of times we hold a lot of our stuff in, and we are told to deal with it on our own and not speak to anyone and just deal with it. And if you do speak on it, it's like you're being kind of soft. And these types of resources are very helpful for you to be able to cope with what's going on in your personal life. I personally suffer from major depression, and for the longest time, I didn't know what was going on because I had been dealing with it for so long. To me, it was normal.
Wow.
So, when I did get a chance to speak with somebody, I found out that I'm not alone. There's other people that I can talk to and deal with it, and recognize the symptoms the state I was in. And now I'm coming up out of it. It's a lot different, and I could recognize in other people those same situations. Because I had a good friend of mine that was going through the same things, and I recognized all those symptoms from the jump, and I was able to offer a helping hand and try to get him up out of that funk.
That's amazing. So let me first say thank you for definitely sharing that with us, because that is a piece of vulnerability, right? And that's something that has or is now becoming more highlighted. One thing that we did see, especially within the Black community, is that mental health and the symptoms and the signs and the impact is now becoming a thing, and people are recognizing, like, oh, you feel this too? I'm not the only one that recognizes this, or I'm not the only one that sits up at 2:00 in the morning thinking, or wakes up or man, you feel like you kind of sad too about this. Wow. And so we're seeing now from the pandemic, we're seeing kind of like a collective group kind of stand together and be like, hey, I noticed this, and I noticed this because I got it going on too. All right, let's stick together and get some help. And so that is just wonderful that you're able to be very transparent with that, and then also be able to reach out and help someone else, because that's truly what it's all about.
Yeah, I remember the first time I talked to him, I didn't want to say anything to my psychiatrist. I didn't want to say anything to him, and then like the second time I opened up to him, and I was just like, man, am I crazy? He was like, no, you're not crazy. He was just like, you just been depressed for your whole life. You don't know anything other than that.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's just like, you can deal with it. He's like, I'm gonna help you get through it. And that's all. That's what I needed. And then I have my friends around, which is a good support system for me. So they check up on me, things of that nature. So it's a work in progress.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
I think one of the things that you just touched on, B-Dub, is asking the question like, am I crazy? Excuse me, because so many times I know in the past, like, we stereotype or we classify everyone that has a mental health issue as crazy. So nobody wants to speak up because they don't want to be looked at as crazy. And it seems like the narrative has changed a little bit. I believe it was Charlemagne the God that wrote a book maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago that kind of got that conversation going for basically the culture. And so I think today it's a lot more accepted to reach out for therapy and to get help.
Right.
And people aren't as judgmental when you are seeking help.
Right.
Yeah. Excuse me, for sure. Excuse me. I definitely noticed that too. I think we're moving from a place of the stereotypes of like, well, what happens in this house stays in this house, or don't go and tell no one, because that means that they're going to put you in a straitjacket and ship you off somewhere. Or, oh, if you say that you're experiencing this, that means that they're going to medicate you and you're going to be crazy and you're going to go get a disability check or whatever it was, right? But we're moving from a place of that to like, oh, you don't got a therapist, or oh, you don't even see it, so I'm going to my therapy appointment. Like it's the norm, it's the thing to do, it's the end thing, if you will, to do. And it's great because people are making a decision to be a better and a more healthier them. And again, they're coming into awareness. And that's what I think was a big piece that, our culture was missing, is just awareness of it. Like, just because you have depression or anxiety or PTSD, that doesn't mean that you can't make it through it. It doesn't mean that you're going to go off somewhere and, everybody's going to be in your business. That's not what it is. And so it's great to see people take that step, for sure.
Yeah, it's real refreshing. And B-Dub, thanks for sharing your story. That it's less stigmatized. It was always a stigma whenever you brought up mental issues or mental health issues. It was always stigmatized and people were shunned. So, and that's our culture. That's the Black trauma that we've had to deal with, from slavery. Just that trauma has, cause people to, like you said, just deal with things in their own way and not always seek professional help. So one question I had was, how do you identify the difference between maybe going through an episode and just, all out, a mental health crisis? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess the crisis in the episode would be the same thing. As a therapist, how do you distinguish between just the episode and maybe some real underlining issues going on?
You breaking up, Doug?
Yeah, but I think I got the question.
Okay.
So let me just clarify. Are you saying like, the difference between something long term versus a temporary moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So really we gather information, right? And it's really depending upon what were some of the triggers. We're looking at longevity as well. So is this a common thing that you've seen in your past? Is this something that is possibly recent? Did something recent happen to where now it has triggered all of these emotions and all of these symptoms? So really by the process of gathering some information and of course basing that and being clinically sound, we can kind of determine whether or not this is like something full on or this is just kind of a moment. Even like with depression, we can determine if this is what's called a single episode or a reoccurring episode. And it's just kind of based off of lines of questions and some information. If we can kind of see or explore like, this looks a little deeper than, I don't know, my cat fell off the tree. This might be connected to something, in the past, then we can explore that and gather information from that. And that's how we can tell if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's right on. Thanks. Sorry about my internet. I don't know what's going on with it.
Karisma, I wanted to back up with you a second. I think we jumped right in because we got so much to try to cover. But if you can, give us maybe a general explanation of the benefits of a therapy program.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people think, William, that something must be wrong to go to therapy, right? A lot of people think like, man, something drastic must have happened, something tragic must have happened in order for me to go and see a therapist. And that's not true. Whether there's something going on in your life or there isn't, therapy is always really great because number one, therapy can provide you with different skills to, as I like to say, weather the storm. If it's happening now, or if it's going to happen. Not only that, though, but therapy provides an outlet that you can kind of get an unbiased opinion. Sometimes we go and we just talk to our friends or our family and, they didn't heard this situation about 50 million times already, right? And they're probably like, listen, I didn't told you to do this or what have you. But for someone who's kind of outside of the situation, they're able to kind of give some insight. Therapy does not tell you what to do, but we as therapists, we just, did I freeze?
We can still hear you.
Okay. I look frozen. I don't know if it's my internet.
Your screen was frozen a little bit, but we can still hear you.
Okay, great. Again, so therapists, like, we don't really tell people what to do, right? But we just give different perspectives that one can look out of. And that's what it's all about, right? It's just, hey, here's another framework, here's another lens that you can possibly look out or look at this situation in. And then if you choose to, let's rock with it. Let's walk this through. And so again, benefits, you get to prepare yourself and or learn how to deal with certain situations in a more healthy and efficient way.
Yeah, I think you hit on two things that resonated with me. B-Dub, I've also, I imagine all of us have been to therapy. Matter of fact, show of hands, fellas, if you've been to therapy. All right, half of the crew.
I ain't gonna front. Well, here before we even go any further, man. Like I know I need it. I have not been. Like I have a lot of trauma from, you know what I'm saying, my mom passing away that I know I haven't dealt with, and I've used a lot of different coping methods to kind of quote unquote keep myself out of depression. Whether it's traveling, whether it's just kind of quote unquote living my life so I don't allow myself to get down in dark spaces. But I know I have a lot of underlying issues that I need to deal with. Like nothing's manifested itself. Like I haven't had any episodes or anything like that, but I know in the long term that I need to go talk to somebody to deal with the grief that I'm experiencing. And like I said, I've just been masking it by quote unquote living my life and just, you know what I'm saying, kind of not, I don't want to say not giving a F, because obviously I still do, but it's just, it keeps me out of that dark space. It's like if I'm having fun, if I'm living life, then I don't have time to go into that dark space.
But you know what, E, man? I felt like 1,000 pounds was lifted off my back after I talked to somebody. Because I had been holding in for so long. I'm talking about from like 11 till probably I was in late 30s. I had been holding it in. As soon as I talked to somebody, I'm like, okay, now I'm talking to somebody who knows what they're doing and can give me some type of guidance, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just in my room. Sometimes I wouldn't even open the shades. It'd just be dark in here. And I liked it like that for years. I wouldn't do nothing. I was just in this bad, just rut. As soon as I talked to him, I felt like, all right, I'm on a good path. And every week, every session, got better. Then he got out of the business. I'm like, all right, I'm about to go right back, slide right back in.
Yeah.
My dad picked it up. My friends picked it up. It helped me a lot, because when I feel down, for some reason, when I work out, I feel good. So my dad all the time is working out. I'm working out. All them dopamines and endorphins, they make me feel good. So I just work out. Even when I can't work out, I still got y'all around, and y'all keep me up, because y'all got upbeat personalities, and I'm kind of like low key a little bit. Y'all keep me up. So I appreciate y'all for just being there for me, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that goes to what Karisma was saying, man. Like the fact that, maybe they don't tell you what to do, but they give you those tools. Like, all right, well, when you find yourself in this situation, maybe try this or try that. And then the other part, at least that was important for me, man, was, just being able to talk to a complete stranger and have no judgment. It was like, all right, like you said, when you're talking to your friends or your family, sometimes it's like, well, shit, if I say this, how is somebody going to look at me or whatever? But, when you speaking to somebody whose job is to listen, at least for me, I was more apt to, say my real feelings to that person. And then it translated to like, all right, well, shit, if I can talk to this person and, say what I really feel, then, maybe I can talk to other people closer to me and, give them the real also. So I appreciated the tools and the no judgment part.
Yeah.
I'm not against. Can you all, am I keeping up? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, you good. You're butter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not against. I'm just making sure, man, my internet is acting foolish. And I would definitely seek, professional's help. But it's almost like it goes back to that Black trauma. At what brink do you say, hey, this is enough? You know what I mean? Like, this is too much. Like, I'm dealing with issues with, my mom, and part of me saying, I can deal with it. People have gone through this before. I'm no different. But at what point should I maybe seek that help? Is there, any suggestion from you all? Like, at what point should I go maybe and talk to someone?
I had to hit rock bottom, man. Honestly, for me, and the situation I'm talking about, I had to hit that level before it was like, and then it wasn't really, I did it on my own. It was like, I hit that point, and then it was like, all right, you have to do this. You have to do this. So they just gave me the kind of a roadmap, and I just followed through with it. I could have just been like, okay, I'll do it. And then it like, I ain't doing nothing, but I stuck with it. I went,
follow through
with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna make sure you follow through.
Yeah, I'm about to say the crazy thing, and if I won't give any specific details, and if I do, we can edit it out. But I remember the situation, and it was like, for me, it was like, yo, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it made zero sense, because, you know what I'm saying, the amount of time that me and you had spent together, like just kicking them and living life, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay.
I was good at hiding it for so long. I could hide it in front of y'all. But when I come home, man, it's hell. I could put up my shirt and show you all these scars. I was just living in hell. But then I could switch it off, and when I come see y'all, and then come back home, I'm living in hell again. And then it just came to a head one day, like, nah, I can't take it.
Yeah.
So Karisma, my question is there like something like a mental, like we go to the doctor, we do our checkups, we get our physical checkups. Is there like a mental health checkup that, maybe somebody can subscribe into? And
good question.
I'm about to say, that's a real good question.
That's a really good question. So there are always, therapists available for consultations. If you feel like, you might want that, then you most definitely can look that up. You can go to, a therapist and say, hey, can you, provide what's called an assessment, right? An assessment for me, gather some information and just see where I'm at. See, like, what is your clinical recommendation? Because for some people, it might not be like clinically, you might not be in a place where you need a weekly session. You might can fit every month, bi-weekly, or what have you. So you definitely most can just kind of go in there and just say, can you just check on me, see where I'm at? What do you clinically recommend? And then, but I do want to circle back to one of the questions that you asked of like, okay, when do I ask for help? And I would, if you were in my office, I would challenge you here a little bit. But I would say to you, and
our first session. We're about to have a session right now.
Yeah, no, we're not. But I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to say, well, at what point are you ready to receive help? At what point will you be willing to say, this is a lot, and I possibly could handle it all alone, but I choose not to. I choose to go and get some support. And so, therapy is all about too. Not only is it, a therapist thing, but it's a client thing as well. So if you're willing and you're open, that's a good point. That's a good starting point. That's a good starting point to be like, let me go ahead and reach out, and see what it can provide.
So yeah, she said this ain't no session. She get paid for those.
Right. Like, my office hours are from 9.
I'm on the beach. Okay, no. I'm on the beach right now.
So,
right.
As far as like, 'cause I know there's a financial component to all this stuff. Let's just say somebody recognizes they want to get help. They're not employed. Would that be a deterrent to coming and seeking help, knowing that they don't have insurance? Like, would you guys turn them away? How does that work?
So no, at Poppy's we don't. We have some people who do take clients pro bono.
Okay.
So
that's actually good to know.
She's not one of them.
I am. I'm not primarily, but
normally I don't do this.
Yeah.
What's that? I think there's like a reel out there. It's like, yo, my prices are not the cheapest. Like, I am not the cheapest.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is. I mean, but maybe I shouldn't say this, but we do have, we have self-pay options. If there are some financial situations, we, can look at that. And there are, of course, it's not just us. There are other mental health therapists as well that do that. Excuse me, but we do have people on our staff currently who can take pro bono clients. So if insurance is a barrier, if I'm unemployed, I don't have any money is a barrier, then that's fine. And then too, that's also where our case managers come in, because our case managers help them find employment and they help them work on getting insured and things like that. So there's a wealth of resources out there. So that's not a barrier.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful that you're in the school system. That's how you and I met, in the school system. And we all have children, some younger than others. Really not a recommendation, but as we are talking about our health, our children's mental health is just as important. What do you recommend? And
I was just going to ask that, man.
Yeah. So, again, there's nothing has to be wrong in order to enroll in therapy services, right? Or therapeutic services. I would say our children face a lot with the pandemic and coming out of it and going back into the school setting. That's a major transition and adjustment. They went from one grade, some of them were like in 7th, 8th grade, and now they're pushed up in a high school setting when they come back to in person, and how to adjust and things like that. So I definitely recommend for the children, get them involved in, if there's maybe groups, any type of youth groups that's going on, get them involved in that, to help them continue to build the social interpersonal skills that they missed being in the pandemic for almost 2 years, right? They missed that development. They missed that growth piece. So definitely, again, if there's any type of groups, if you're, the schools have any type of mental health providers, get them enrolled in services. Again, it doesn't have to be nothing wrong, but they can help keep them on track, keep them, on pace, and give them tools to use when situations do come up.
Is your particular company involved in any community efforts to kind of spread the word about mental health services and things like that to the community?
Yeah, so as they come across our desk and we're aware of them, yeah, we do. We've done a few events. I think like a few weeks ago, we were just actually at New Prospect Church. And it was nothing but like health. It was a health and wellness expo. So we were there educating, educating the community, making them aware. We just had an event last Saturday down in Dayton, again, making people aware, and things like that. So as they come across our desk and we can make it, we're there in the community, because that's the biggest piece, is the education piece. Is the awareness piece, and is the piece to say, hey, you don't have to face what you're facing alone.
What are some gems that you can give us to kind of like deal with stress? one way that I've kind of dealt with stress, just pandemic and all that, is, we created this podcast, just 3, 4, 4 or 5 friends talking, and it's kind of been like an outlet. So what other outlets do you recommend maybe people take on who are dealing with, stress or things like that?
Yeah. So one, I would say this podcast sounds and it feels super cool, super fun,
Thank
so
you.
that's great. Yeah. So self-care is a huge thing, right? And it's a huge topic right now. And a lot of people are like, well, what is self-care? I don't self-care. I don't know. The best way that I can describe it is, it is an activity. It is something that is done, that is said, that pours into you. And sometimes we don't necessarily have the time to do that, right? But you have to be intentional about doing that. Something that I recommend, be intentional with how you start your day. Be intentional about the tone that you're setting for the day. I'll give y'all a little tidbit here, but there is a book called inspirational mornings, and they use an acronym called S.A.V.E.R.S. Okay, they use an acronym called S.A.V.E.R.S. And what S.A.V.E.R.S stands for is the S is it's scribing, affirmation, visualization. No, backtrack, excuse me. Silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and then scribing. And what you are scribing, you're scribing a to-do list for the next day. Okay. And so I normally teach my clients and myself, set at least about, 30, 45 minutes before you wake up and have to start your day. Set that out and try your best to do those acronyms. Silence, whether that's your prayer, your meditation, what have sit in silence for a second. Express gratitude. Your affirmations. Another thing that's going to debunk stress is, instead of saying, man, I got to go to work and deal with these kids, I get to go to work and deal with these kids, right? So my affirmations, I am strong, or I am a great professional today. I will be productive. Visualization, visualize how you want your day to go. I want to be the person that responds to all 100 emails that come to my email today. And I'm going to visualize that, and I'm going to feel grateful and be productive with that. Okay. Exercising, 10 little jumper jacks, get your body going, what have you. Reading, try to read at least 10 pages a day of a book that pours into you, whether it's a self-help book, I don't know, a mystery book, what have you. And then your to-do list for the day before, for the day afterward. So that way you're ahead. So you're not stressed out about, well, I know tomorrow I'm gonna have to do this, 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 and this. You already can set the tone, if you will, for your day. Another quick little thing is grounding techniques. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed, your mind is racing. I say Google 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like 5 things you can taste, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can see, right? And so what that does is that grounds you back to the here and now, and that recenters you, and you can just take a few deep breaths and say, okay, what's my next step in this moment? And then you're able to think clearly. So there's lots of little tidbits. If you're into like essential oils, have that going, maybe in your office, in your car, whatever that looks like. Take some deep breaths, and just take things one step at a time. Sometimes we got to do things moment by moment, and that's okay, right? That's okay. And so, lastly, the biggest tidbit I can say is give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. We give grace to other people all day, every day, right? But we don't necessarily give it to us. And so it's okay that you might not have everything in this moment, or you're feeling overwhelmed in this moment. You've never been in this moment before, and you're the best you that you can be in that moment. So give yourself grace.
What was that again? Charisma, inspiration.
That's deep.
Morning inspiration. Let me just make sure though that I'm giving you. I want the people to be like, I can't find the book, but
How do you feel about cannabis?
so what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He joking.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We're going to gloss right on over that.
Okay.
How do you feel about the sweet Chiba?
Well, there's also that, right? There is also the Miracle Morning. That's what it's called. See, I knew I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Miracle Morning is the name of the book.
Sweet Miracle Morning.
Charisma,
morning inspiration. I don't know where my man is. Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't close.
Something in that water, Charisma. Something in
Right.
that
So
Her last tidbit is a little bit of clear liquor.
right.
You want to review that water?
Yeah. Was alcohol part of any of those 5?
Was
They
is
said
that,
it depend on the
is that
person.
part of any of my coping skills? No,
Yeah.
it's not.
So, Charisma, like we can, obviously we can hear the passion in your voice when you speak about, the mental health field. What actually got you into it? Like, what made
Wow.
you choose
So
this
you
as
want
a
to hear
career path?
crazy? Yeah, you want to hear a crazy story? So this is actually my second career. I was slated to be an attorney. Okay, I was going to law school. Uh, I was going to law school and I took the test, applied. I was working already at a firm and everything. And I was doing some work and I was like, you know what? What happens though? Like when the client leaves my office or they leave the courtroom, how do they deal with the decision? Because I'm only able to help them if I get a win, right? But if I lose, how are they gonna pick up the pieces of their life? And so I went through a few transitions and situations, and I found out I wanted to have a deeper meaning. I wanted to help people more, in a deeper way. So I was like, man, how can I do that? Do I need to become a psychologist or what? And then I found therapy. I found being a licensed professional counselor and went with it.
It's dope.
Story right
Yeah.
there.
Thank you.
Anybody else got any other questions?
Not me, man. Charisma's been great.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I think I speak for all of us, man. This has been probably one of our most powerful episodes, I would think, man. Just the level of transparency and vulnerability that, we all allowed ourselves to express on this platform. Once again, B-Dub, I salute you, brother, for, speaking on, your situation and the things that you're dealing with. We don't know who's going to ever watch these videos or who's going to see this stuff. But if we can help one person, from the stories and from your information that you've given Karisma, then it's a win for us all. So we definitely appreciate you, for coming on. Before we wrap up,
Especially since you and I both had COVID. Especially since you and I both have COVID. I mean,
we out here now, okay?
You got a sinus infection. That's
right.
But we want to allow you to we want to allow you to give your contact information, any socials, if people are looking for help and looking for therapy. How can they reach out to you or your business? Let us know.
And Karisma, like what do you like to drink?
For sure.
I was going to ask you, do you like?
I do.
You like beer?
Actually.
Okay. Any recommendations?
So I am. Yeah, no, I am a beer drinker. So I was like, looking and looking at what you guys were reviewing and stuff. I'm like, this is cool.
That's cool.
So yeah. But I am also though I'm a whiskey woman. I love my whiskey. I know.
Cool. Got some whiskey.
Right.
Jack Daniels.
Yes. My Jameson, my Maker's Mark.
I like Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like Eric said, if you can just drop your information, let the audience know how they can maybe contact or be in touch.
Yeah, sure. So, well, before I do that though, let me say thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a joy. And thank you guys too. I second Eric with you all's transparency and vulnerability. It's not easy doing that as someone from the culture, but even just as a Black male, right? And so that's something that's so powerful to be able to see you all exude such strength and passion and vulnerability. Like that says a lot, and that's changing the world. So please keep doing what you're doing and how you're doing it, because it is definitely needed. So thank you for that. However, if you do want to reach me or Poppies, you can most definitely visit us at www.poppiestherapeuticcorner.com. You also can email us at info@poppiestherapeuticcorner.com. And then we do have our office number, And that office number is area code 513-570-4068.
There it is.
All right, well, hey, well, thank you so much. I know we took some time to get this plan down, and I'm so happy we made it happen. So
yes, likewise.
I told you all. I said this is gonna be a good pod.
Yeah. We got to have you back on so we all can get our free evaluation.
That's where y'all was getting at, talking about, well, what if they don't need, you just want to do a check-in.
So Charisma, say for instance, I know this friend that's dealing with this. What would you recommend for him?
What does this sound like?
His name is Cillian Biggs.
No, please, man, contact me, contact us. We're here. We definitely support you all's initiative and you all's goals. So thank you again. I look forward to speaking to all of you guys again.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
all right.
All right, thanks. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks. Hey, once again, thank y'all for tuning in to Hops and Stocks, episode 41. We signing off.
Peace.
Be a shell of a man if we ever depart. From my heart to I'm riding with you. I'm riding with you.
Hops and Stocks podcast is presented by S.A.V.E.R.S Media Group. We encourage our listeners to drink responsibly. Please note, we are not financial advisors. We do not offer or provide financial advice. Trademark copyrighted by S.A.V.E.R.S Media Group.